a pretty good deal to me. I'm sure this is what many of you think whenever you're ordering something from online. What seems like such an easy task to most is actually a very detailed project behind the scenes. In order for people to have luxurious services such as next-day delivery or two-day delivery, the company must have a very detailed supply chain system. A manager of supply chain coordinates the logistics of all aspects of the supply chain consisting of 5 different things: the plan or strategy, the source of the raw materials or goods or services, manufacturing or productivity, delivery and logistics, and return system for defective or unwanted products. The manager also tries to avoid any shortages of materials. Not only is supply chain about logistics, according to salary.com, managers make recommendations to improve productivity, quality, and efficiency of operations. A good supply chain successfully keeps a company out of the headlines and away from any expensive lawsuits or recalls. Supply chain management is a crucial part of operation in companies today. This can be proved through the history, popularity, and careers currently available to graduates. About 50 years ago, it was obvious that if a company produces some item, it would be purchased and consumed, eventually taking some time to be delivered to the consumer. This change in technology was slow, causing consumers not to expect products to be delivered very quickly. But due to acceleration technology, today people have a high expectation when they're ordering online, whenever they want their product delivered as soon as possible. So this causes the supply chains for different companies to have to speed up their technology and be able to meet these demands. The history of supply chain management began with improvements of basic labor-intensive processes and progress to current-day engineering and complex international networks. The supply chain industry began with the idea of logistics in the 1900s. In 1911, Frederick Taylor focused on the improvement of manual loading in his work. In 1925, pallets were created, which allowed the vertical stacking of product. In 1926, the idea of a forklift emerged, which greatly improved warehouse efficiency. During the 1940s, this time operation research of analytical values began to develop during World War II for logistical military solutions. Industrial engineering and operations research were combined, which created greater success. During the 1950s, pallet and pallet lift mechanization was the main focus. This was to obtain better warehousing. Unit load concept became popular by using intermodal containers with ships, trains, and trucks. During 1956, the standard steel shipping container was developed. Similar to the 1950s, during the 1960s, time-sensitive freight transportation steered toward trucking rather than rail. This is because rail tended to be much more expensive and harder to get the products to, and trucks were able to drive around exactly where they needed to go, and it tended to be less expensive. A big step in history during the 1960s was when IBM developed the first computerized inventory management and forecasting system. Many companies today use similar systems just like this one. The main focus of the 1970s was different internal changes, such as the focus on the reduction of inventory levels and distribution costs. Before 1970, records were taken manually by hand, but until data computerization was created and data was kept on the computer, now they're able to have everything on the computer instead of writing everything by hand. This is also an increase in fuel pushed companies to focus more on transportation costs and how to lower that as well. Some important dates during the 1970s is 1971, Fred Smith began FedEx, which is the pioneer of delivery services. 1974 was the first UPC barcode scanner used in a Marshall's supermarket in Ohio. In 1975, first real-time warehouse management systems installed at JCPenney's in Southern California. During the 1980s, there were 3 major changes. The first one was re-engineering supply chain cost structures in hopes of lowering operational costs. The second is shift from cost reduction to improving customer service. And then the third is involve the internal integration of logistics with companies. The key logistics trend from the 1980s is supply chain was known to be very costly to acquire and complicated to operate, yet it was a key and crucial part to a company's profits. Every company needed a supply chain to be successful. During the 1990s, they still focused on customer service, but they realized the importance of forming external relationships with other companies besides just their own. In 1997, Amazon goes public with 1 million customers, and in 1999, MIT launches Auto ID Labs. During the 2000s, in 2002, Alameda Corridor opens, which is a 10-mile underground rail system from LA to Long Beach, which eliminated need for trucking because it was a tunnel system, so they didn't have to spend money on trucks. In 2012, Rethink Robotics released Baxter, which is a robot who can be taught tasks without any programming needed beforehand. And then looking back from the early 1900s, when pallets were just being created, and comparing it to today where robots are being created is one really big step. If it were not for this advance in technology, our marketplace would not be where it is today. Supply chain management is a new and upcoming major to get into. It's starting to become very popular because almost every single company is in need of this position. Every production company needs this department, and still few people know about it. Logistics delivers 48 million tons of freight daily. That is equivalent to $48 billion daily. Supply chain also employs over 6 million people. Fortune.com asks, how can a $13 trillion industry be hidden in plain sight? Well, the answer is it takes place behind the scenes and no one actually thinks about what is being done. More than 75% of supply chain management have either a bachelor's or master's degree, according to salary.com. The supply chain is definitely something you do not want to take your eyes off of. It is definitely a career choice that people need to keep their eye on because it is definitely a big up-and-coming career. Some of the different jobs in supply chain, they have a very large variety because it's just very large job. One of them is an industrial production manager, which focuses on daily operations at a plant. So they search for ways to make the plant run more efficiently. Another one is a logistician. They are the ones you think of whenever you think of supply chain management, the typical job, that is what they do. They take the product from start to finish through the supply chain and make sure that everything's done correctly from beginning to end. A purchasing manager is basically exactly what it sounds. They just purchase the materials and the supplies that the product needs. Supply chain management plays a very integral role within the company. This section of the business process generates most of the cost of the company. This is because the supply chain is large. It contains the manufacturing, warehousing, and distribution sides of the company. A good supply chain management can bring huge benefits and competitive advantage to the company. Thank you.